Welcome back. Let's start with a question. Have you ever felt it? Not a word, not a clear action, but just something in the space, a tension in the air when she, the one you believe is just a friend, walks into the room. You feel her eyes on you even when you're not looking. You say something, and her laugh. It has a different melody, one reserved just for you. But the moment you look, it's gone. She hides it behind a polite smile. She changes the subject. That confusion you feel isn't weakness, it's instinct. You are sensing a war, a silent war inside of her. Why would a woman hide an emotion so powerful? The answer isn't as simple as she's playing games. The truth is much deeper. Today, we are not decoding signs. We are exploring the 7 layers of consciousness that explain why she hides, and who you, as a man, are being invited to become in the face of it. Before we begin that journey, if you feel connected to this message, help spread it, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way, you're not just joining this conversation, you're helping other men find it. And please, hit the like button to let me know we're on the right track. Now, let's begin. Layer 1, the fracture, the mask, and the self. The first thing you must understand is that you are not interacting with one person, you are interacting with 2. The first person is a social mask. This is who she has learned to be. She is logical, guarded, and in control. She is a product of past hurts and social expectations. This mask fears judgment. It fears being wounded. It fears losing control. The second person is her true self. This is who she is. She is emotional, intuitive, and deeply powerful. This self craves connection. It craves to be seen. It doesn't care about logic. It only cares about feeling. The confusion you feel is a fracture between these two when you are near. Her true self is pulled toward you. Her body leans in, her eyes soften, her energy opens. But instantly, the mask recognizes as exposure. It panics. So it snatches back. Her words turn cold. She crosses her arms. She looks away. You see, her body says come closer, while her words say stay back. This isn't manipulation. It's a civil war. Most men only react to the mask. They hear the words we're just friends and they retreat in defeat. But the awakened man, he sees a fracture. He sees both. He doesn't listen to her words. He listens to her energy. Your first question of reflection is, are you talking to her mask? Or are you speaking to the self that is fighting to be seen behind it? Layer 2, the terror of the fall, the surrender of the ego. Closing parenthesis. Why does the mask fight so hard? Why would she hide a beautiful feeling? Because what you call attraction, she experiences as a fall. Imagine you are standing on the edge of a high cliff. Your logic says, don't jump, it's dangerous. But a part of you is mesmerized by the freedom of the open air. Falling in love is just like that. It is a fall. It is a surrender. It is the moment the ego, the sense of control she has worked so hard to build, begins to dissolve. For many women, especially strong, independent women, this feeling isn't romantic, it's terrifying. To feel for you means that the value of her day is suddenly tied to whether or not you text. It means her internal peace can be shattered by your mood. It means she is handing you a weapon, her trust, and hoping you won't use it against her the way others have done. So, she hides it, she fights it, she denies it. She is not rejecting you. She is rejecting the loss of control that you represent. I once knew a woman who was a brilliant liar. In the courtroom, she was steel, but in her personal life, she couldn't maintain a relationship. One day, she confessed to me, the moment I feel myself really like a man, I feel physically sick. It feels like I'm losing myself. She wasn't afraid of love. She was terrified of her own ego dissolving. When you understand this, you stop taking her resistance as a personal offense. You see it for what it is, a frightened protection of a heart that is feeling too much. Your second question of reflection is, can you see the fear behind her defense? Have you ever been so afraid of a feeling that you ran from it? Layer 3, throwing storms, the lighthouse, and the ship. When a woman is fighting the terror of the fall, she will do one thing. Unconsciously, she will throw a storm. She will test you. This is not a conscious game. It's a subconscious cry for help. She will mention other men. She will challenge your opinions. She will tease you. She will pull back suddenly. What is she doing? She is a storm, and she is desperately looking for the lighthouse. She is asking, not with words, but with energy. When my storm hits, will you stand firm when I pull back? Will you chase me in desperation when I challenge you? Will you crumble? Are you safe? Most men fail this test. When she mentions other men, they get jealous or insecure. They become just another ship in the storm. When she pulls back, they chase desperately. They sink. When she challenges them, they get defensive or aggressive. They fire back. They prove to her that they are just as unstable as her own storm. So, her mask wins. See, it tells herself, he can't handle it, it's not safe, and she shuts down. The awakened man, He becomes a lighthouse. He does not waver, his light does not flicker. When she mentions other men, he remains calm, even curious. He is unthreatened. When she pulls back, he doesn't chase. He simply remains solid, shining his own purpose. When she challenges him, he meets it with humor and strength. Not defensiveness, his stability is the answer. His peace is a sanctuary. He says without words, I see your storm, I am not afraid of it, and I am not going anywhere. This is what, in the end, breaks down her wall, your third question of reflection. When she brings a storm, do you become the lighthouse? Or do you become another wave? Layer 4, the resonance, the two tuning forks. This is one of the most beautiful layers. When her true self begins to feel safe around your lighthouse, a miracle happens. She begins to resonate. Think of two tuning forks, tuned to the same frequency. If you strike one, the other, even across the room, will begin to vibrate. It can't help it. This is what's happening when she starts to copy you. The original script called this mirroring, but it's deeper. She starts using phrases you use. She suddenly gets interested in the book you're reading, or the music you listen to. If you are focused on your purpose, she begins to ask about your work. If you are calm and grounded, she becomes less chaotic around you. This isn't conscious mimicry. It is energetic attunement. Her nervous system is saying this frequency of peace, of purpose, of stability, I want more of it. Her true self is trying to tune itself to your frequency. This is why your inner work is so critical. If your frequency is one of desperation, anxiety, and need, what will you resonate within her chaos, her insecurity? You cannot fake your frequency. You cannot pretend to be calm. You must be calm. I learned this from my own mentor. He was a man of deep silence. When I was around him, I found myself speaking slower. I found myself breathing deeper. I wasn't trying to be calm. His peace was simply contagious. He was the tuning fork and I resonated. You must become the tuning fork. Your fourth question of reflection. What frequency are you broadcasting? Are you vibrating with the peace of purpose or the noise of need? Layer 5, the cracks in the armor, the sacred glimpses. As she resonates, the mask begins to crack and you start to see the cracks. These are not big, obvious signs. They are sacred glimpses of her true self. It's the eye contact that lasts 1 second too long when she thinks you're not paying attention. It's the sudden protectiveness. When someone in the group says something critical of you, and she, the one who is usually quiet, is the first to defend you. It's the subtle jealousy, not anger, but a fleeting shift in energy. When you give warm attention to another woman, her smile tightens. She gets to quiet. It's the unasked for act of service. I noticed you hadn't eaten all day. I brought you this. These are the moments her self breaks through the mask. Most men ruin this. They see the crack, and they try to pry it open. They say, aha, I knew you liked me. And instantly, the mask slams shut, the crack is sealed, the trust is broken. The awakened man treats these cracks as sacred. He doesn't point them out. He doesn't exploit them. He receives them. When he sees a glimpse of vulnerability, he meets it with increased warmth, not increased ego. When she defends him, he doesn't say, oh, you like me later in private. He says, what you said earlier, that meant a lot. Thank you. He honors the self without threatening the mask. Your fifth question of reflection. When you see a glimpse of her true heart, is your instinct to possess it or to protect it? Layer 6, the gardener and the miner, the invitation. This brings us to your role. The most important role. In every interaction, you have two choices. You can be the miner, or you can be the gardener. The miner brings a pickaxe. He believes the value of the gold. The diamond is hidden, and his job is to extract it. He asks prodding questions. How do you feel about me? Why are you acting this way? Do you like me? He digs, he pushes. He might get a confession, but he does it by force. He leaves chaos in his wake. He destroys the landscape. The gardener is different. He understands that the flower is not hidden. It is simply unbloomed. You cannot make a bud bloom. You cannot pry open the petals. If you do, you kill it. What is the gardener's job? He doesn't focus on the flower. He focuses on the environment. He pulls the weeds, his own insecurity. He provides water, his presence and appreciation. He provides sunlight, his warmth, his positivity, and his own purpose. He creates a space so safe that the bud, when it is ready, chooses to bloom. It blooms not because he made it, but because it wants to reach for his light. Most men are miners. They try to extract a confession. Be the gardener. Stop focusing on making her admit it. Start focusing on becoming the man she feels safe enough to admit it to herself, and eventually, to you. Your sixth question of reflection. Are you carrying a pickaxe? Or are you carrying a watering can? Layer 7, the safety of presence, the birth of trust, and this brings us to the final layer. The transformation, if you are the gardener, if you are the lighthouse, if you honor the cracks, if you understand the terror of a fall, something will shift, the fracture begins to heal. The civil war inside her stops because her true self says to the mask, look, he's not hurting us, he's safe, he's not wavering, we can trust, and then the great shift happens. It's not a dramatic confession. It's quieter than that. It's a sigh. It's the first time she truly relaxes her shoulders around you. It's a comfortable silence, where neither of you feels the need to fill the space. It's when she tells you a secret, a fear, or a dream she's never told anyone. It's when she stops trying to impress you, and just as with you, the birth of trust is not an event. It's a release. She stops hiding, not because you caught her, but because you created a space so sacred that the mask was no longer necessary. You didn't win her war. You made the war obsolete. This is a goal, not to hear her say, I like you, but to feel her surrender. The surrender not to you, but to the truth of her own feelings. Because your presence finally made it safe to do so. The practice your inner garden. I want to leave you with a practice, not just a thought. Let's call it your inner garden. For the next week, carry a small notebook. Your job is not to look for signs from her. Your job is to garden. Divide the notebook into 2 columns. On the left, write minor. On the right, write gardener. Anytime you interact with her or anyone, and you feel the urge to take something, a compliment, a reaction, a piece of validation, write it in the minor column. Example, wanted to ask her why she seemed distant. That's a we. Just recognize it, and anytime you have the chance to give something not material, but energetic, write it in the gardener column. Example, listen to her story without interrupting. Chose to be calm when I felt defensive. Raw warmth instead of suspicion. That is sunlight and water. This exercise will change your perception. It shifts your focus from getting from her to growing yourself. You stop trying to decode her, and you start becoming the man she doesn't have to hide from. The goal is not to read her. The goal is to become the man she can be real with, and that is the most powerful form of attraction there is. Live a life of meaning.